Hello, Bill Schlegel here with another question I would like to ask those who believe that God is a Trinity or that Jesus is God. From the book of Acts, chapter 10, when Peter first brought the gospel to the Gentiles, the Gentile Cornelius, who was living in Caesarea. Peter's preaching to Cornelius is recorded in Acts chapter 10, verses 34 to 43. And Peter says that God has preached the word through Jesus Christ. And then in verse 38, he says how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Spirit and with power, how he, that's Jesus, went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed by the devil, for God was with him. And then in verse 39 it says that Jesus was put to death. But then in verse 40, but God raised him on the third day and made him manifest. And then skipping down to verse 42, it says that he commanded us to preach to the people and to testify that he, that's Jesus, is the one ordained by God to be judge of the living and the dead. Notice a few things in this passage that Peter consistently distinguished between the man Jesus of Nazareth and God. The man Jesus of Nazareth was able to do what he did because he was empowered by the Spirit of God, and God was with him. Jesus died, but God raised him from the dead. And God has ordained Jesus to be judge. So consistently, Peter differentiates between God and Jesus. Peter says nothing about Jesus being a God-man, nor about God being a Trinity. And yet, those listening heard and believed. Why would Peter ever leave out the essential ideas that God is a Trinity and that Jesus is God or a God-man when he preached to the Gentile Cornelius?